I think that's where I want us to also look at. It goes back to what you talked about, the power of identification, the power of description for us as a people. Yeah. We should now see how we can put that in our curriculum and teach children and teach everyone how to describe people. When you meet someone in your midst, as we talk about that, we shouldn't also forget that we should also be asking the authorities, when they say they want to do anything, they should be able to let it out. This is not the first time we've heard stories about we know the sponsors. This is not the second time we get into here that we will name the sponsors. What is difficult in telling us who the sponsors are? It goes back to what you asked or what you said. If we know the economic importance of all of this, knowing that we are going all out to nip in the bud the sponsors of Boko Haram, then we can say we're getting close to sorting this out. But it doesn't look like, are there some kind of information that shouldn't come to the public?
I think, Suleiman, I think I'm as frustrated as you are when it comes to that particular angle, where we keep telling the public, we will name them, we name, we should. What
and it never comes.
Why we want to hear you name them. What are the legal bottlenecks that prevent government from naming people who are suspects? I think that is a big question that the media should actually interrogate. More about people who should be accountable to us. What is delayed? What's making it difficult for them to tell us these are the sponsors? We are still working on it. You cannot work on it forever.
Because at different stages.
Yes, at different stages. So I am as frustrated as you are when it comes to that.
Because from your background, you agree with so many Nigerians that if you can starve them of funding, that's another tactics
of course,
countering
it's a strategy.
this.
Yes,
it's a strategy.
It is. It is.
But I'm just wondering, though, do you really think that we're approaching the end of Boko Haram?
That's another difficult one. A research report I just read a few days ago talked about the possibility that suicide attacks, bombings, will be on the increase. And
where, in Nigeria?
Globally. And that study was based on the statistics they took globally in 2014 as against 2013. In fact, they took it from the baseline and begin to see how incrementally it has boomed. And you see the frustration and the desire to ensure that our ideology is spread all over the world, is gaining, especially with every fleeting opportunity, every success encourages the insurgents to want to do more. So it would be wrong for us to think that we will finish Boko Haram in a day or two. I've never bought into that. Rather, it will make us to become too complacent, and then they will strike again. What we must know is that, like I told you before, it's an ideology, and they have their own tactics. They determine when they should attack. They can decide to go on that. Let's see. When Yusuf started in 2003, he engaged the security forces. In 2009, he was captured. Then, what happened? They went underground and came up with a more horrific, terrible tactics of suicide attack. They were not doing suicide attack before. It was just mere confrontation with security forces. But they now started suicide attack, bombing, maiming civilian soft targets.
What do we now make of the use of children? As in these attacks now, they've talked about how, the most effective one was the one done with a 15-year-old, between the 10 and 15-year-old. And we've seen that up north a lot.
What happens?
Young children, young girls being used.
Yes, because they are very vulnerable. The children are very vulnerable. And in fact, when you read the techniques of mind control, as well espoused by Peter Watson, War of Mind, or mutual use and abuse of psychology, you get to know. In fact, one of the most celebrated cases of mind control was the case of Patty Hearst, the daughter of the rich American millionaire that was involved in these SLA activities. She was kidnapped, and within a period of 60 days, she was completely documented. And she now believed in the cause of SLA, and she was going about committing all kinds of gang violence with them, robbery and all that. So these children are very vulnerable. They are very vulnerable. They are very easy to turn around, and with all kinds of promise and inducement. There are different ways that insurgents actually use vulnerable groups. They may either tell you that is what we should do to make your life better, or they will even tell you, you will not even know what you are carrying. They say, go and deliver this to somebody. By the time you are dead, they've strapped things around you, then they detonate it. So you yourself, you go. In other case, they detonate you to believe in the cause.
Can we begin to identify vulnerable groups and perhaps, help them to be less vulnerable?
Beautiful. That also is not a matter of, it's not a voodoo tactics. To identify vulnerable groups, you get it from data. And that is why I'm saying that we should be getting a lot of data from all of these incidents that are taking place. The first reaction is to carry out a routine cordon and try to get valuable information. But after that, you must collect that information to give us valuable data.
At the end of the day, you will lead to forensics.
Yes.
Do we happy?
Well, I think we should do.
You know, Doctor, before we get there,
yes,
there's something that we have to go back. You know, yes, it has to do with the civilian population,
yeah,
the community. How well do we know ourselves? If you look at it, it's very key here. Some of these people are not residents where such dastardly acts are carried out. So they migrate from where they are to the point where they detonate the bombs.
Yeah.
How well can we start asking questions? It may sound embarrassing for some individuals, but in an attempt for us to save our nation, we must be able to do similar things that is done in other parts of the country, other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Don't you think it is high time we started asking questions when we see any strange face in communities or in neighborhoods?
That is the right thing to do. And it's not only just asking questions, even if you cannot train to ask questions directly, you should be able to get a line. You can make a call. I'm seeing somebody around this place is doing this, is moving from east to west, or it's about this height. And you should have a place to be able to send out that kind of information to. And they should be able to direct their operatives who are close by to go to that place and see. What they can get out of that.
Even with a culture like that, could serve as a deterrent to
anyone
that someone just might place a call.
Sure. What I do know is that it's actually a big challenge, because to police any city or so, you require a lot of people, a lot of plainclothes operatives, and there is a minimum of time you can stay and still be at alert. Therefore, it means you have to have a large amount of people that, suppose maybe you do shift here, so you have to have people who can replace those who have been there for the past 1 hour and all that. So all of that has to be taken care of, so that all of the place can be properly policed. And of course, like I saw, you're listening to you when you were talking with the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, our CCTV technology, where is it? The place of surveillance devices, where is it? How much are we using it? We have solar panels that can power some of these devices. How much are we using it? I think having been under insurgency for 6 years now, we should get more serious.
It's not as if we didn't spend money in putting some of these things there.
Exactly.
How come they didn't work? They never worked, or they're not working?
And nobody has been held accountable for that.
Because if you don't play back, you just can't even
because part of the thing
talk about the modus operandi of these people.
Part of the thing you should do, for instance, this bomb took place, if we had CCTV that were working, you would have just gone back to play it, and you identify what happened. And then you start the trail.
I mean, looking at this scenario, as unfortunate as it is, not the first, not the second, or the third, in all of the efforts you've seen us bring to bear when these kind of things happen, do you think that they instill confidence in the citizenry?
There must be confidence. Because once you lose confidence, you have made yourself very vulnerable to insurgents.
In the ability of states to handle it.
Of course, the intention of the insurgents, that is just one of the intentions of the insurgents, to make it appear that the state is incapable of defending you. That this system that is in place is incapable of defending you. We have a better system. That is all the purpose of the insurgents, and we cannot buy into that.
So why don't we have people volunteering information in droves to the agencies?
I don't know whether they are not. I will not tell you whether people are not volunteering information. Let me tell you, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things involved in this issue of whether volunteering information or not. First of all, people may not be volunteering information enough. Secondly, people will volunteer information that are actually not too important, and that are diversionary. Then second, another point again is that the processing of that information and the reaction time is also very important. Don't forget that Abdul Muttalib's father, he informed the U.S. that his son had been radicalized. That information was not put to good use. So there are all kinds of gaps that we need to identify within the whole chain of reaction of our responses that we must put together. I will even suggest that the federal government should, at this stage, convene a committee of experts to properly come out with details of what should be the specific response of every stakeholder, including the citizenry, to this menace.
And to what extent do you think states are keying into this? Because many of these things happen in states.
That's another beautiful question. Let me even tell you something, Chamberlain. If not because our security system has actually broken down in a way. The national security architecture that I know is supposed to be very effective. And what is that architecture? It is based on a system of security committees, starting with the local government, the state government, and then the federal government. At the state, at the security level, local government level, you have what we call the state, local government security committees, to which members of the armed forces and other security agencies are members and they are operatives. They have files they maintain in their offices. So when they meet, usually on every month, they are able to discuss issues of security in their local government, new things that they've developed and what is brewing. The chairman calls that meeting at every point in time. And if a member of the security committee sees that there's something that needs to be attended to immediately, they call it an emergency meeting. They discuss it, and of course, whatever they have, that's supposed to be an early warning system for every security threat in this country. I think that system has broken down.
So,
yeah.
What should we be saying? It's sad that that system has broken down, but now that we've had this attacks, especially in the nation's capital, what should we
It should be revived. It should be revived. Security, local government chairmen should call security meetings on a monthly basis and at other occasions when members suggest there's something that needs to be discussed urgently. The same at the state level, they should function properly and the information that they come out with should be followed to the letter. In other words, they should be followed through. If we can follow that architectural structure that we already have in place, if we can enhance it or revive it, I think we will have a long, it will be very good. Well, you can imagine a local government meeting where people within that local government come every month to discuss security issues. When there are new faces, they will report it. When arms are coming, they will report it. All kinds of things that have to do with security will be reported. And then, of course, we'll also discuss responses that should be done or made to make sure that those things are nipped in the bud. So that security architecture should be revived. That's why I look at it.
All right, we appreciate your time.
Retired
Colonel Wilson Ijide, who is also a Doctor of Industrial Organisational Psychology, who lectures in Department of Psychology, University of Ibadan. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in a moment. We've got another perspective on the matter. Don't go away yet.